Tired of the job hunt hellscape? Stick around, because by the end of this video, I'll show you how to go from endless interviews to working from a beach on your own terms.
Remember when getting a job was simple? You'd walk into a company, shake hands with the manager, prove you could do the work, and boom, you're hired. Fast forward to today, and that same process now involves submitting your resume to a digital void, pleasing an AI overlord, surviving 7 rounds of interviews, and competing with candidates who claim to have 10 years of experience in a technology that's only existed for 3. Oh, and don't forget the LinkedIn posts. So many LinkedIn posts. The job market has become a bizarre game where nobody seems to know the rules anymore. Companies complain they can't find workers while simultaneously ghosting hundreds of applicants. Workers are burned out, but also weirdly less ambitious, and somehow people are bragging about working just a few hours a week while the system keeps chugging along. So what the hell happened? And more importantly, how do you actually win at this broken game?
Here's something wild. Workers are getting less ambitious. According to a Wall Street Journal survey of demanding fields like law, consulting, and finance, companies are struggling to get employees to go above and beyond. Corporate speak for working late and weekends. Law firms that used to have no problem getting junior associates to pull all-nighters are now hearing something revolutionary. No. Associates are refusing weekend work, forcing partners to either hire more staff or, gasp, do the extra hours themselves. As someone who survived investment banking weekends, this is genuinely beautiful. It's marvelous. I'm verklempt. The reason? These firms can't afford to fire people due to worker shortages, so they've lost their favorite threat. And promotions aren't the carrot they used to be either. Insurance companies report actually having to coax employees into accepting senior positions because people prefer staying in roles where they can maintain work-life balance. When workers are more afraid of being promoted than fired, you know something fundamental has changed. Quick reminder to like and subscribe, because apparently I need to hustle on 17 different platforms simultaneously to afford a rent. Speaking of broken systems, the pandemic gave millions of people their first taste of working from home. And you know what they discovered? Most office jobs involve an absurd amount of nothing. Anthropologist David Graeber identified these beautifully in his book, Bullshit Jobs. There are the flunkies, receptionists, and assistants who mainly exist to make their bosses feel important. The box tickers who create the appearance of work, like organizing culture events nobody wants to attend. And the taskmasters, who stand over people pretending to supervise while mostly just being annoying. Work from home exposed the charade. People realized they could finish their actual work in 20 hours a week. The other 20? Wasted on meetings that could have been emails and various corporate nonsense. An internal survey of 3,000 workers found that 40% now consider work less important than 3 years ago. They'd rather exercise, clean, or literally just sleep. Another 36% said climbing the corporate ladder has become less appealing. Only 25% wanted more responsibilities. Those are some smart workers. There are 4 big reasons the traditional career path is dying. 1. Promotions don't pay like they used to. Modern salespeople, tech workers, and skilled trades are out-earning managers. A decent sales rep can pull $250K to $500K in commissions, way more than a stressed-out middle manager making $120K while being responsible for underperforming subordinates. Plus, non-management roles are safer during layoffs. Companies need people selling products, but they can definitely operate without another layer of management. 2. The rise of multi-job mastery. Here's a wild trend. People are working 2 full-time remote jobs simultaneously. Entire forums exist where workers share tips on juggling multiple salaries. Some claim working 2 or 3 junior roles is less stressful than 1 senior position and pays way better. It's also better job security because getting laid off from one job still leaves you with backup income. 3. Job hopping pays better than loyalty. Employees who switch companies every 2 years earn 50% more than loyal workers. That's not a typo, 50%. But accepting a promotion resets the clock on when you can leave without burning bridges. Smart workers pass on promotions to maintain good references and keep their job hopping timeline on track. And 4, people just don't want them. More workers are choosing mental health and free time over money and status. When you realize you'll never afford a house no matter how hard you grind, why not take the easier job and spend your time gaming or traveling in a converted van? It's not laziness, it's a rational response to broken incentives.
Now let's talk about actually getting a job, which has somehow become a full-time job itself. Entry-level positions now require 3 years of experience and a master's degree. People apply to 60-plus jobs and hear back from 2. The ones that do respond put you through 7 rounds of interviews before ghosting you anyway. Why? 3 terrible reasons. It's too easy to apply. Online job boards mean companies get thousands of applications for single positions. Their solution: make applicants fill out forms that replicate their resume information, then filter everything through AI. We've created an arms race where AI writes your resume to fool AI screening systems. Nobody wins, except the AI companies selling both tools. Companies want cover-their-ass requirements. By listing unreasonable requirements, companies ensure no candidate checks every box. This lets them hire whoever they want while claiming other candidates didn't meet requirements. It's especially useful when they already know who they want to hire, usually an internal candidate, but policy requires posting externally. Testing your sales skills. Even if you're not in sales, you're in sales. Some managers deliberately post impossible requirements to see how candidates handle objections. If you can smoothly address why you lack 3 years of experience in that 5-year-old programming language, you've demonstrated problem-solving skills worth more than any resume bullet point.
Multiple interview rounds have exploded. Companies now do 5, 10, even 17 rounds of interviews. Harvard Business Review found this leads to worse outcomes because top candidates drop out, leaving only desperate applicants willing to jump through endless hoops. Why do companies keep doing it? Negotiating leverage. After 24 weeks of interviews, you're desperate enough to accept any offer without negotiating. It's cheaper to make you sit through more interviews than to pay you more for your entire career. Cargo cult management. Google does 15 to 25 interviews for roles paying $300,000 plus. Regular managers at regular companies see this and think we should do that too, ignoring that they're hiring for a $60K position that doesn't require finding the one genius who'll create the next billion-dollar product. It's not their time. HR departments get paid for doing interviews. A bad hire makes their job harder, so they'd rather waste your time than risk their own comfort, even if multiple studies show interview skills don't predict job performance outside specific roles like sales. They're hiring someone else anyway. Sometimes companies already know who they want, but must interview externally for legal or policy reasons. Congratulations, you're the box they needed to tick. Here's a fun paradox. America has 9.6 million job openings, but only 6.5 million unemployed people. So why can't anyone find work? Ghost jobs. Companies post positions they never intend to fill. They're building talent databases, projecting growth to investors, or keeping overworked employees happy with promises of help coming soon. Over 60% of job postings stay open for 2+ months despite companies claiming urgency. Amazon once had 25,000 openings posted, but only 7,800 approved to fill. The Amazon problem. With 150% annual turnover, Amazon constantly advertises positions even when technically filled, because someone will quit tomorrow anyway. When 1/3 of new hires leave within 90 days, why bother closing job listings? The skills excuse. Companies claim they can't find qualified workers, but they've also stopped paying for training because employees leave after 2 years anyway. So workers must pay for their own Excel courses, coding boot camps, and AI seminars, on top of now needing MBAs for entry-level analyst roles. Companies win either way. If they fill roles, they get trained workers for free. If they don't, they justify outsourcing or hiring H-1B visa workers who depend on their jobs to stay in the country. Okay, enough doom. Here's your strategy. Job hop strategically, every 2 years minimum. That 50% salary increase is real. Keep good relationships with managers. You'll need those references. Apply to everything. The system's broken, so game it. Apply even when you don't meet requirements. Companies often accept equivalent experience from different industries. Master the objection handling. When asked about gaps in qualifications, have stories ready about solving similar problems in different contexts. This matters more than checking boxes. Consider non-management paths. Sales roles, skilled trades, and specialized tech positions often pay more than management with less stress and better job security. Remote work is your friend. Negotiate for hybrid/remote aggressively. It opens opportunities nationwide and gives you flexibility to potentially work multiple jobs if you're ambitious enough and ethically comfortable with it. Build your exit strategy, whether that's a side business, skill development, or just savings for breathing room between jobs. Don't depend entirely on any single employer. The job market is broken. Companies have made it harder for themselves and everyone else through cargo cult management, legal paranoia, and exploitative practices. But understanding the dysfunction means you can navigate it strategically instead of just suffering through it.
The firm handshake economy is dead. Welcome to the AI-screened, multi-round interviewed ghost job posting hellscape. At least now you know the rules, such as they are. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to update my LinkedIn with some inspirational quote about grinding. I'm thinking something about hustling while everyone else sleeps, preferably with a sunrise stock photo. That's how this works, right?